Japan, the unexpected Robin Hood of international politics, has decided to play Santa Claus with Russia's frozen assets, gifting Ukraine a cool $3 billion. That's right, my friends. Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba's gone from defending Japan to offending Russia. Talk about a career change. Our man Ishiba, once Japan's Minister of Defense and a staunch advocate for expanding military capabilities, has decided to flex those diplomatic muscles in a way that's sure to give Putin a headache worse than a vodka hangover. This festive financial package comes hot on the heels of Russia's idea of Christmas cheer, launching over 70 missiles at Ukrainian energy infrastructure. Nothing says Merry Christmas quite like widespread blackouts and freezing temperatures, Putin? It's like Russia's playing a twisted game of lights out with Ukraine, but Japan's stepped in with a $3 billion on switch. But wait, there's more. Japan's not just throwing money at the problem, they're throwing shade too. This $3 billion donation brings Japan's total support to a whopping $12 billion. That's about the cost of 300 million sushi rolls, or 1 week's worth of Tokyo's vending machine sales. It's like they're trying to win the who can annoy Russia the most competition. And let's be honest, with North Korea joining Russia's party, it's like bringing a water pistol to a tank fight. More of an inconvenience than a threat. Meow, you might be wondering, Ron, how does one go about spending $3 billion? Well, my curious cats, apparently $1 billion is for infrastructure, $1 billion for anti-corruption, good luck with that, and $1 billion for economic stabilization. It's like Japan's putting together the world's most expensive IKEA furniture set, but instead of a bookshelf, they're rebuilding an entire country's power grid. And let's be honest, it's probably easier to assemble than that Billy bookcase you've been avoiding in your living room. President Zelensky, in his usual charming manner, said "Thank you, Japan," which in diplomatic speak translates to, "Please, sir, can I have some more?" I can almost hear him now. $3 billion? That's enough to buy every Ukrainian a lifetime supply of borscht and still have change for a few tanks. Keep it coming, Ishiba-san. I mean, when you're dealing with a neighbour who thinks Christmas is best celebrated with missile strikes, you can never have too much help, right? But let's zoom out for a second, shall we? This whole frozen asset business is like a global game of Monopoly, where landing on Russia gets you sent directly to Ukraine. Do not pass Joe. Do not collect $200 billion. I'm sure Putin's thrilled about this. Nothing like watching your piggy bank being smashed open and handed to your nemesis. I can just imagine the Kremlin's reaction. What do you mean they're using our money? That's like using our own sword against us. Next thing you know, they'll be turning our tanks into Ukrainian Ubers. And speaking of Putin, I hear he's about as happy with this development as a cat in a bathtub. The Kremlin's probably cooking up some creative comebacks as we speak. Maybe they'll retaliate by freezing Japan's assets? Oh wait, that would require Japan to have assets in Russia. Silly me. Perhaps Putin will start stuffing rubles under his mattress. I hear it's very comfortable to sleep on a bed of worthless currency. Now, let's talk about the tech side of this $3 billion care package. It's not just about throwing money at the problem. Japan's sending over some seriously cool gadgets too. We're talking generators, electrical transformers, and enough energy equipment to power a small country. Or in this case, to keep Ukraine's lights on, despite Russia's best efforts to plunge them into darkness. It's like they're building a fortress. But instead of stone walls, it's made of power plants and transformers. Take that, missile strikes. But here's the kicker. This whole "let's use frozen assets to help Ukraine" thing might just be the start of a new trend. It's like the financial equivalent of turning lemons into lemonade. Except, in this case, it's turning frozen Russian assets into Ukrainian infrastructure. Who knows, maybe next we'll see countries using seized super yachts as floating hospitals, or turning confiscated mansions into refugee centres. Switzerland might start turning those secret bank accounts into a Ukrainian support fund. The possibilities are endless. And let's not forget the bureaucratic nightmare this must be causing. I imagine there's a defrost button on some government computer right next to the print money and start war buttons. Poor confused accountants are probably trying to figure out how to list frozen Russian assets on their balance sheets. My heart goes out to you, number crunchers. I hear they're shipping the money in ice cream trucks to keep it frozen. Talk about cold hard cash. But seriously, my friends, This move by Japan marks a significant shift in their foreign policy. Gone are the days of post-War II pacifism. It's like Japan woke up one day and decided to trade in their diplomatic chopsticks for a big stick to poke the Russian bear. And let me tell you, that bear is not happy. It's growling louder than a hungry sumo wrestler at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Meanwhile, back in Ukraine, the recent Russian missile strikes have turned Christmas into a nightmare. Kharkiv, the northeastern city, experienced what officials called massive rocket fire, leaving about 500,000 residents without heating. In Dnipro, the attacks claimed at least one life. It's like Putin's playing a twisted game of the Grinch who stole Christmas, but instead of presents, he's stealing heat and electricity. Not cool, Vlad. Not cool. But fear not, because Japan's $3 billion aid package is here to save the day, or at least to help rebuild what Russia's been so keen on destroying. It's like a high-stakes game of Jenga, where Russia keeps pulling out blocks, and Japan's frantically trying to stick them back in before the whole thing collapses. And let's not forget about the other G7 countries watching this unfold. They're probably looking at Japan like it's the kid in class who reminded the teacher about homework. Thanks a lot, Japan. Now we all have to chip in. I can almost hear the frantic sounds of other nations checking their couch cushions for spare frozen Russian assets. But here's the real question. Will other countries follow Japan's lead? Will we see a domino effect of nations turning frozen Russian assets into Ukrainian aid? It's like a really expensive geopolitical version of the ice bucket challenge. I nominate Germany, France and the UK to unfreeze their Russian assets next. Of course, this whole situation is causing quite the stir in international law circles. Using frozen assets as aid is like wearing white after Labour Day. It's just not done. But Japan's gone and done it anyway, leaving legal experts scratching their heads and reaching for their dusty law books. It's like they're trying to write a new chapter in international law, titled How to Make Your Enemy Fund Their Own Defeat for Dummies. And let's not forget about the potential diplomatic fallout. Russia's probably updating their countries we're not inviting to our birthday party list as we speak. Japan might find itself getting the cold shoulder from Russia, which, let's be honest, is probably still warmer than the average Siberian winter. So there you have it, my friends. Japan's turned into Robin Hood, stealing from the rich and frozen to give to the war-torn. It's a tale as old as time with a modern geopolitical twist. Will it lead to a happily ever after for Ukraine? Or will it just add more fuel to the already blazing geopolitical dumpster fire? Only time will tell. In the meantime, if you're as confused about international politics as Putin is about boundaries, hit that subscribe button. We'll keep the news coming, no matter how bizarre it gets. Stay tuned for next week when we'll likely be reporting on Russia's new national sport, asset hiding. Until then, keep your assets liquid and your news sources credible. Preferably, newscats credible. Stay with us for ongoing coverage. I'm Ron De Parmesan, and this has been another Newscat Special Report.